Hi, welcome to Star Wars Saturday Special Edition. This is a celebration of the insane genius of the Gauntlet's Rich Rogers, inspired by his mission to hack every single RPG ever released into the Star Wars setting. Today we're going to be playing a one-shot of Hutt Cartel, a Star Wars hack of the narco-trafficking theme game from Magpie Games. I've already gone over the safety tools before starting the recording of this session, so I'm just going to jump straight into the pitch. Our session, rather than taking place in the real world, takes place on level 1313 of the Coruscant Underworld, a hive of scum and villainy on the planet-spanning capital city of the Empire. Our session takes place several months after the destruction of the second Death Star at the Battle of Endor, so the Rebel Alliance is still transitioning to the New Republic. Across the galaxy, planet after planet is ceding from the Empire, but the Imperial Remnant still has a really tight grip on everywhere that it controls, and Coruscant is right firmly within that grasp. All of the open acts of rebellion on Coruscant have been met with brutal force. And following the riot in Monument Square, Coruscant security, the normal civilian police, have been heavily reinforced by the Imperial military security forces. And now you will see stormtroopers enforcing the laws where normally they would only deal with sedition and treason. Every day, new exiles from the upper levels and the protests and the resistance up there flee further into the underworld, and they bring the Imperial crackdown with them. For the Hutt Cartel, that's kind of above all of the thing that they're concerned with. Business continues, but what is in jeopardy is the web of bribes, backdoors, and people who look the other way for the business of the underworld to continue. And on 1313, security patrols were nothing more than an empty show until now. But with stormtroopers looking over their shoulders, ISB officers and CSF officers are unable to look the other way and might even take down you as a rebel if it makes them look good on paper, right? But as any criminal will tell you, chaos can just be another word for opportunity. And so here we are. We welcome to the world. And I will go in character keeper order. If my players could please introduce themselves, their pronouns, and then give me a little bit about their character. That'd be great.
Sure.
So, Philip, if you'd like to go first.
Philip Rogers, no relation to Rich Rogers. It's important to say this this weekend. I use he, him pronouns, and I go by Snarkade on Twitter. I'm playing Zern Vizek, and he is a Deveronian, which is one of the kind of the devil-looking aliens that you see pop up in the background of lots of Star Wars shows. And he's a cook. He's a chemical specialist. He makes the things that destroy society, and he's quite good at it, but not quite good enough to make enough money.
Nice. And then Stephen.
So, hi, my name is Stephen. I use the he, him pronouns. Today I'm playing Jaldar Ko. Jaldar is the Hawk playbook. He is a Duros. He dresses in really fancy clothes, or tries to dress in fancy clothes. So he's really attracted to maybe getting some fancier clothes because he's trying to act a little bit more rich than he really is. He's a very smooth talker. He has 3 gang members. Prax, who is a Jawa thief. Torgo, who is a Trandoshan thug bouncer. And Ines Oluwu, or Ines, who is a Twi'lek dancer. And on the side, he runs a little strip club where people come in and Ines dances, and he skims a little bit off the top and has a little bit more money.
Nice. By the way, everyone should feel free to add anything to the NPCs or places that they want to. I'm not as proactive as Rich is about finding pictures and stuff like that.
And by the way, since I just said that I have a strip club and all that, feel free to X-card anything, and we'll change that to, I have a delivery service or something like that if it's an issue.
And yeah, other players, feel free to say that. I don't have any problems with anything. So yeah, but not everybody has to be on that same page. And anyways, David.
Hi, my name is David, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Crete the Dragon, they, them. They're a clone from the old Clone War days, playing the assassin playbook right now. And the short of it is that this person is very much like a hunter, and seems to have a grudge against the Empire for co-opting his brethren into the stormtroopers at large. He's basically a hunter killer, and keeps to himself mostly.
Nice. I do have a question about the assassin. Is what you used? So the framing of the assassin is that you are a notorious killer. You know, like you have your rep kind of thing. So you've been away from 1313 for some time. Where did you go, and why did you come back?
That's a great question. I think where he went,
You never did catch Han Solo like you wanted to, did you?
right. I think he would have gone to.
Oh, the Skywalker bounty. It's gone now, right? Like there's no.
Right. The Camino.
Ooh, you went to Camino. Okay. Why have you come back?
Some unfinished business on Coruscant.
Nice. Okay. And then finally, Jim.
Yes, I am Ori Xanatos, and she is the crooked ISB agent, except not ISB, it's the Coruscant Security Forces, right?
Yeah, I was just going to call them security because I've yet to find the thing that,
Yeah, CSF. So I'm a crooked CSF agent. I'm human woman, dark skin, watchful eyes, street clothes, walking around town. You wouldn't know me from, like if you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between me and, most of the people I bust, I think probably because that's the whole point is, and I grew up in the neighborhood and stuff like this. So, I've got a bunch of, I've got a city issued speeder bike, which is kind of cool. So I can tool around, when I need to. I have one comm unit that is issued by the city, who's, where the traffic is monitored, and one comm unit that's just mine. That's personal. That is, I keep off of the, the regular Imperial frequencies and stuff like this. So I work for Coruscant Security, an anti-cartel task force assigned to Sector 1313. I've been in, this says, I'm going to change this from where it says Imperial Security Bureau. I've been with the CSF for a while, but I was recently assigned to this region. I have returned to my home, I think for the reason that you said, is because suddenly they've got to look like they are actually, I think this is a thing where like they know that the New Republic is coming and they need a reason for the New Republic to not just come in and clean house. And so this is like a preemptive, no, look, we're dealing with the problem. We don't need any help from you. It's fine. Because otherwise, New Republic are all like do-gooders and they're all about anti-corruption and all this kind of stuff and everything. And no, like, that's not good for anybody.
So like, it's like
the system works. We know how it works. We know everybody local. They're just going to come in and fuck up everything if we don't at least look like we're doing something.
So the Imperials are, using the CSF to root out and crush any rebellion. And in the meantime, the CSF is like, oh yeah, we need to tidy things up for the Imperials, but with an eye to being like, we need to keep whoever wins. We need to make like we're screwed if they see what we're really up to down here.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that is exactly the kind of shady corruption.
Yeah, like while the war was going on, nobody paid any attention to us. Like the war ending is the worst thing that could have happened for all of us down here. So.
Oh yeah, and especially now the bulk of the Empire's forces is concentrated on this planet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. I do have a question for the crooked CSF agent, though.
Yeah.
What happened to your old partner?
What happened to my old partner? My old partner, he got in debt betting on pod races, like up to his antennae, or whatever. Now I'm in Star Trek. Like I have an Andorian partner. No, whatever his head flanges or something like that.
Yeah.
And he couldn't keep ahead of it. And he went into a trash compactor and didn't come out. And no one's quite sure who tossed him down in there. The official report was that he got drunk and like dropped something in there and then went in after it, and then it turned on while he was down there and stuff. But it was a grisly end. There was like not much. It was a closed casket funeral.
Nice. Okay. He was already buried, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And one thing I do want to ask the cook. What is it that you want? Your product is now more important than ever with the crackdown blocking off the off-world traffic. What is it that you want? What is it that you're saving up for? What are you going to use these credits for one day? Because like Walter White wants to buy his healthcare at the start, right? Like, kind of, what's your goal here, the cook? You're muted, Philip, if you're talking. Sorry.
I just want
more, just greed, just general greed. Nice.
Yeah, just, if I have more, I will still want more. What is the one that's above stable, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm comfortable.
And those are very elastic things. It's more just a case of like, could you afford to like buy a new car? Comfortable could, right? Stable would probably strain their finances to do that. Impoverished, it wouldn't even be a question unless it was a real shit heap. By the way, I'm not as good as Rich as slipping into Star Wars swears, so I apologize. Use your imagination for anything that slips through. And I can see Stephen has already actually answered some of those questions that I was going to ask with, what is your regular form of employment? In fact, what is the regular thing that you do for the cartel, though?
For me?
No, for the Hawk. Sorry, for Stephen. Sorry. Yeah.
For the Hawk. So I drum up business. Basically, it's my job to pass things along. With my little side job that I've got, I think I try to hook customers. So they'll come in, and of course, the first hit's free. I take Zern's stuff, and maybe put that on the side menu. This is the back room special stuff that you can get. And once I can get them hooked, then they got to keep coming back to me to buy more.
Did I have another question for the Hawk? No, I think that is everything. Shall we quickly do ties, and then we will we'll break. Why don't we go in reverse character keeper order and do Jim first, if that's okay?
Sure. Let me ask you a real quick question first, Will, which is, did you want my information for like who's your new partner and all that kind of stuff? Because I have some, or do we want to wait till play to? Oh,
hey, no, you go for it, man. Like, sorry, okay. I just scrolled down the names, but you know what? It would be nice because there's so many NPCs set up in all of Cartel. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be useful to know about your new partner and the thing. Yeah. Maybe not the other NPCs, but those two.
Cool. Yeah. So there's like half a dozen of us in this unit. So there's 5 other characters there. The names or the Star Warsy names are all on my sheet there.
Yeah.
But who is my new partner? My new partner is Rex. And Rex is I want to make Rex a droid. I want to make my new partner a droid.
Oh, nice. Is he an older model, a newer model?
I think that he is he's a protocol droid that they like retrofitted to do interrogations. So he's got like, he speaks every single language spoken down here and stuff like that. So he'll translate for me if we run into somebody who's trying to like, like Jawas who are being truculent by pretending they don't, speak Interlac or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I only speak bocce. Like,
exactly. He can squeak at them and whatever is required.
Nice.
And he's he's awfully literal, I think is the problem.
Nice.
He doesn't understand the idea of the spirit of the law.
Nice. I can already see bringing that character back for multiple sessions of Hutt Cartel.
Yeah,
because that's a great combination. The interrogator protocol droid. And what about Batty? Why do you think Batty's suspicious of you?
Batty is suspicious of me because I think Batty is suspicious of me simply because, like, he's a do-gooder. He's someone who like grew up in the towers of Coruscant. He's like the nephew of a senator or something like this, who like took a big step down to take this job, right? And is suspicious of anyone who took a step up to take this job. Like, I came from the neighborhood, so therefore, for all of his talk of, everybody should, have a chance to, redeem themselves and stuff like this or whatever, and that he's here to, help Coruscant find a brighter future. He looks down on all of us that grew up here.
Nice. I like it. And probably is very unhappy under the leadership of Prefect Rico, the mercenary with a cruel streak who has been in charge of CSF for the 1310 to 1315.
Yeah, but like, because he's the nephew of a senator, it's not that he's untouchable. It's that, like, right now everyone is doing the math on, like, okay, if I get rid of this guy, how much heat is that going to bring down on me? You know what? Way too much.
Yes.
So yeah.
And
there's some characters from the cartel that I work with regularly as well.
Yes, I do have the names to mind. I think I looked it over and I was like, on average, you create like 15 NPCs for the average group of thing, and I'm like, yeah, not enough time to go through all that because I won't remember any of them anyways.
The names are all there. If we need them, we can just look at them. But
yeah, and do feel free to introduce. Whenever they're there, they can come in, whatever, right? And
I think that the cartel, the NPC from the cartel who almost gave me away is Oyuna Varn.
Mm-hmm.
And Oyuna is, I want to make her one of Jaldar's dancers. And Stephen, I would like it if we would use the word dancers as opposed to strippers to refer to your employees.
I think that was an affirmative on mute. And
okay,
sorry.
Yes. I think I did that in the playbook, but I may not have said that out loud.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah. Cause like whatever, like women dancing in the whatever dry ice smoke and stuff is like a Star Warsy thing. So so she is one of Jaldar's dancers who is connected to the cartel. Well, I mean, cause she works for Jaldar. And I think that, like, she's very pretty, but not very bright. And, like, I am quite smitten with her and by her gifts and stuff like this and everything. But, like, she just, I think, she almost gave me away because, like, she's not supposed to, act like she knows me outside the club. Right. And, like, I think one time, like, I was, at a stand or something in the market, and she just walked right up to me and started talking to me. And, and like, I had to, like, one of these kind of things. Like, so, yeah. So, like,
what was her name again?
Her name is Oyuna, Oyuna Varn, Varn. She's basically like my side piece at Jaldar's club.
What race is she? Species?
What are the? Let me take a look here.
I would ask that she not be Twi'lek, because I have a dancer that would be a little bit more diverse.
Sure. Yeah. What is she? She is.
Devorian? Devil woman?
She's
Hey.
Nautilin.
Nautilin. Okay.
Nautilin. She's Nautilin.
Yeah. Do you have a picture for her, or would you like for me to look for one?
Go ahead and look for a picture of a smoking hot Nautilin, please.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
There such okay.
Hey, it's Star Wars and the internet.
Ori-
There's definitely a picture of a smoking hot every alien.
Ori thinks so. So yeah.
It's probably steamy hot
Yeah.
because smoking would be bad.
So anyways, Ori thinks so.
Nice. Okay.
And who offered to scam the Kingpin? And that is Asori Abren. Who has totally got to be one of his like Gamoran heavies. One of his thugs.
Okay.
He's like a leg breaker who does collections for him.
Okay, I love it. And yeah, has made it very clear to you that they'd be willing, they're always looking to wet their whistles.
Yeah, and it's like the stupidest scam ever. The scam being like, I go to somebody, I threaten them that the Kingpin needs his money. They pay me, then I go back to the Kingpin and say they didn't pay me.
Yes.
And then whatever, like, and then you bust them on some trumped up charge so that they're in the clink and no one can talk to them about whether they actually paid or not. And I'll split it with you. And it's like it's the stupidest scam ever. But in that way that Ori's like, this is the most idiotic thing ever. He'll totally get us caught. Well, except maybe I can, coach him on how to do it right, kind of thing. So it's turning around in her head right now, but she hasn't taken him up on it.
Fair enough. Sounds great. If we go over to the Halcon, the Hawk has a supporting cast as well, which I think I would like to just quickly. Who cheers you up when things get tough?
I think that's actually Prax, my Jawa thief.
Yeah. And who is a real pendejo, but who's a real nerf herder, but you just can't cut them loose?
That would be Trogo, the bouncer.
Okay.
He thinks he's more important than he really is. He's kind of pushing around and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that leaves how do you say the name again?
Ennis.
Cool. That is how I'd written it down, and I was like, did you actually say that, or did I just do my usual too lazy to read the full name out? And so yeah, Ennis is truly solid in there for you, which is probably why she's the linchpin of your side job, really.
Yep.
Nice. I don't think the Sicario has anything like that, and the lab is a fixed cartel managed, very professionally equipped lab that is comfortable, but like I say, indebted to the cartel who are providing it with you, and you've got shortages probably due to the lack of off-world traffic at the moment.
And it's also detectable since it doesn't move.
Nice, cool. Jim, well, no, let's do ties then. Sorry, because that introduction of things, and then we'll quit. We'll go for our break, and then we'll come back and do the rest of it. So, let's start with Philip. If you would like to go through your ties, please.
Sure. You owe blank for getting you out of a tight spot. You won't die for them, but you both know you need to settle up soon. Of this group, it's probably great. That's
nice.
That's what I'm thinking. That probably the only one that would.
No, I think that works really good for what I have in mind too.
All right, let's see. Blank got your back. Got you back in the business after you had retired. Tell them how you feel about your return to the game, and don't be shy. I think
So, Phil, I've got one that says you grew up with blank in Sector 1313.
okay.
You still have a drink after work if you're both free. It's nice to know someone who isn't involved with either side of your double life.
Oh, and by the way, guys, you can make those ties with other NPCs. Because there are so many NPCs, we can use those to tie in. You should have some player ones, but
let me throw this one out there. How about that one right there is my wife. My spouse who doesn't know about the fact that I'm in the business.
Oh, who got you back in the business?
No, I'm thinking Jim's character, Ori, she grew up with my wife.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah, perfect.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So they get together. That being said, I also think because of that, the third one down here, which is blank carked up something crucial. You had to clean up the mess before things got messy with Coruscant security or a rival drug cartel. I think I helped you get rid of your partner.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Yep.
So it's one of those where you are friends with my wife. That being said, you're also the one you also know about, like, she would kill you if she knew that you knew.
What's your wife's name?
I don't know. Let's make one up. Ebla, Ebla, Ebla Vizik.
I take it the spouse is replacing the kid who thinks you're beyond reproach.
No, I have that too. I have a questioning secrets. I have a questioning spouse.
You have 3 questions, don't you? Sorry, for some reason I thought it was only 2. So yeah.
I've got a kid who thinks I'm beyond reproach, which I'm assuming is probably my kid.
Phil?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you asking the right questions for your playbook?
I'm asking the questions from my playbook, I think.
Okay.
Am I not?
The ties.
Those are my exact same questions.
No, your ties actually should be somebody is family, close family. Is this? Where are the ties? Sorry, I'm not.
Los Enlaces.
Yeah, I think that what's happened is the data page has become slightly off, and the cook's questions are now, the cook's ties are now pointing towards the Sicarios. So very well spotted, David. I apologize for that, Phil. Okay. So your first one is somebody is family. Sorry about that. I didn't catch that because I just took this.
I'm gonna put your 3 questions in the chat here.
All right.
The cook. I was like, those are my questions.
Let's see. All right.
We could move across to somebody else if you need to look at those for a second.
Sure.
Apologize for not catching that. Stephen, if you would like to go through your ties.
I certainly will. So I'm going to start at the bottom. You and somebody have a plan to make some real money. They worry it's not going to work, but I know it's a sure thing. And I think that's what the cook Zern. Are you okay with that, Philip?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the next one up is someone disapproves of your cartel work and wants you to get out. You're not a kid. You can handle your own business. I'd like to say this is Ori, and this is sort of because I am Oyunya. I'm her boss, and I think there's some resentment there. Yeah.
Nice.
And then lastly, someone gave me some new responsibilities lately at my request. They have their doubts, but I'll prove them wrong soon. I think that was great. What do you think? What kind of responsibilities do you think you gave me?
Well, that ties into what I picked for our tie. I picked for Carl carked up something crucial. You had to clean up the mess before things got messy with Coruscant security or rival drug cartel. So I think the responsibilities I would give you would basically like keep your nose clean, like don't draw unwanted attention.
Okay.
And let me ask the group if they would want this to be a rival cartel or something like the Black Sun.
Yeah.
Would that work for everyone?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the Black Sun has gotten into our business.
Definitely.
And just for anyone watching along who might not hypothetically know who the Black Sun was, because that's certainly not me, because I'm playing a Star Wars game, so I would know that.
What
Who
is
are
it,
the Black
Jim?
Sun? Yeah.
The Black Sun are essentially the rivals to the Hutts. They are they're space mafia, but the other space mafia essentially.
Okay.
In the write-up document, one of them that I read, they're like crazier than us.
Yeah, they were like a more tightly organized thing, and then the head of them got taken out by Darth Vader around Empire Strikes Back, and they've had a bloody turf war between every single member, and now it's like they're lost status basically in the real world. When Black Sun appears, you know that things are going to not be stable anymore.
Right.
I can't imagine them showing up in this game. Thank you very much. Those are some wonderful ties. Crate.
Yeah. So I did the one with Co. So I owe Xanatos for getting me out of a tight spot. I won't die for them, but you both know you need to settle up soon. So I have a couple ideas for this, Jim. One is that maybe you helped point away the investigation on me to someone else. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, actually, entirely independent of knowing that you took that, I have one that says blank is the target of an active investigation. You're not the lead investigator, but you're regularly briefed on the case, and I chose Crate as the most logical one for that, so that completely makes sense.
Yeah, you're fingering someone else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I chose the cook. Is it Vizik? Vizik got me back in the business after you had retired. Tell them how you feel about your return to the game, and don't be shy. I guess what I'd like to know is, what do you think would have been enticing to bring someone like me back into the business? What do you think it might be?
Clones are artificially aging fast.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a substance that slows it down a little bit.
Oh, I love it. So this sort of like I don't know if guilt's the right term for it, but definitely self-interested. Yeah, so it's almost like I'm gonna assume that I'm going to be one of your clientele for this drug that may or may not exist yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Love it.
If any of you want to, alter the default text in there to slightly represent the things a bit more, don't feel obligated, but it will definitely help me remember them specifically rather than be like, yeah, that guy.
I also have a quick question on my gear, Will.
Mm-hmm.
I chose body armor. Is it okay for me to choose as stormtrooper armor so I could impersonate a stormtrooper when needed?
Yeah, I think that's fine entirely. It won't necessarily change the roles. It'll just change the fictional framing of them.
Yep, sounds good.
Which will hopefully put you in a less likely place to get shot if it goes wrong. Or more likely, because who else steals stormtrooper armor than Rebel scum, right? They've caught on to that trick finally. Jim, would you like to do your ties? And I'm sorry that this is taking longer than I thought. First time running the game, so I'm not a streamlined machine yet.
No, that's fine. This is a game with a lot of setup, so it's no big deal. So my three, I think we've actually already discussed two of them. My first tie is that I grew up with someone in Sector 1313. I still have a drink after work if we're both free. It's nice to know someone who isn't involved at all in any way with either side of my double life and would never get near anything like that. And that is the wife of the cook, Ebla Vizik.
Yep.
So, yeah.
This was happening before I was the cook.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, we've been friends we're friends from way, way, way back. I have stories about her, I could tell you. And I think that's a running joke is like the running joke is, oh my gosh, I have stories from back in the day, and she goes, oh, quiet you, and then you laugh. Is how that goes. Crate is a target of an active investigation. I'm not the lead investigator, but I'm regularly briefed on the case. And I feel like this is one of those ones where, like, he is because of his reputation, he is the subject of an investigation, not because they have tied him to a particular crime, but just because they know he's done something.
So is this like a what do they call it? A fishing expedition? They're hoping to line something up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, like, because Crate's got that rep, so they're like, and also, like, I can't imagine that you don't have stuff in your background like long ago that you've skated on, and it sure seems like that do-gooder, Senate nephew is the kind of guy who'd want to be like, he's gotten away with it for too long. I'm sure he's up to something. I'm gonna nail him, like that. So I feel like that's going in. As sad as this is, Jaldar is my main contact in the cartel. I think that makes sense. Does that? Because, like, if I'm regularly at your club and we're talking, and almost certainly, whatever, like, licensing or city stuff or inspections, which is basically, and like in a place like this, inspections are nothing but a scheme, like a graft scheme, right? Nothing just but like bribery to people who have those jobs.
Yeah, I think that works. I think that makes that, because I mean the Hawks are messengers, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
So it's a remove between you and the boss, Amara.
Jaldar, does that work for you?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Tell them where you two go to speak directly when you need a face-to-face meeting. And I feel like that this is where do we go? Where's like a super Star Warsy place that we go? There's a hangar that we meet in. It's got to be a hangar with like a shitty old, freighter of some kind that literally just has tarps over it. Like, it's probably never going to fly again.
Yeah. A derelict loading cargo bay off the main, one of the old main portals to the
yes,
world.
yep.
And it's been in such disrepair that basically I think there's storage boxes that are around it that, crates and stuff that it couldn't leave if it wanted to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. And then back around to Philip.
All right. I think we've addressed a couple of these. Ebla, my spouse, is familia, close family. They don't know what you do for the cartel, and you're not sure you can keep your secrets for long. I think Crate got you into the business to help you with financial troubles, but didn't tell you the whole story. Now you're both stuck. I think that we kind of brainstormed about a potential cure. We're like, yeah, we could definitely do this, but I'm going to need some resources and materials. You go, I know somebody that can help you out with that. And I didn't exactly realize I was signing up to be the cook for the cartel.
Mm.
And then down here, I don't know what his name is, but I think
that is Amara at the top of the NPC tabs. Amara Tavi is a Kasheri drug lord for the Hutt cartel.
So you and Amara have an understanding. You need each other for now, but you both know the current situation won't last.
Yes, because again, it's this off-world crackdown that's really limited the normal flow.
Yeah, I'm not the person that they would get to be a cook. There are cooks. I'm just the current cook.
Yeah, you're also the best, I would say.
Yeah.
You are. I think part of the cook playbook is that you're more than just a sort of like a, the random guys who are making meth before Jesse Pinkman before he gets trained up by Walter White. You are something special.
If you're running the cartel, you don't really need somebody doing work on Ferraris.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So at the moment you're important. It won't last. I love it. Okay, that sounds great. Thanks very much, guys. Because that was long, should we take a 10-minute break? Does that sound good to people? and then we will go straight into it. I know we did all of this wonderful world building and NPCs and everything. I'm probably going to throw you guys into like some hard frames and disaster, and these people might be around for just getting shot in the face. Who knows? But yeah.
Quick question. Did you want the start of session move before we head out?
No, because we took so long to do everything. I'm just going to do it straight off the thing.
Perfect. No problem.
See you guys back at 1:30.
Sounds good.
My head is swimming with the number of NPCs that we've just created and all of the details. Like, I knew there would be so much created at the start, but it's one thing to just see the names and be like, yeah, there's 10 NPCs, and then it's another thing to go through all of them and be like, okay, there's a whole level here on top of all the things that I already had in mind.
Campaign play, baby.
Yeah. It's just that it feels like Cartel is like where you are in a campaign, like 3 sessions in, is how you start, you know? Cool. Okay. Well, let's get into the action then. Ori, you have been summoned to the ISB bureau, and you've been taken to an interrogation room where you sit yourself down, and the Imperial officer greets you, nods you in, and sneers as the CSF uniform, and says, "Someone will be with you shortly." And,
I don't have a uniform.
no.
I have street clothes with a badge.
Yes. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
badge, and he sneers and says,
exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah.
"CSF, of course." And he leaves, and you can see nothing but the black mirrored wall in front of you, and the door.
Yeah. So like I stand up, I walk over to the wall, I like pull a toothpick out, and I use it like a mirror to like clean my teeth.
And then the door open behind you, and in steps Lieutenant Shatterblade, who is my attempt at a Starkiller / Skywalker name, and the ISB agent who has been placed in charge of the lower level sweeps for rebels. He is a careerist who seeks results so they can leave this scum behind. And he says, Agent Xanatos.
LT.
Please, I see you catching and admiring your reflection.
Well, there isn't much else to look at here that's nearly as interesting.
Oh, well, let me just fix that. And he presses a button, and you can see the glass clears, and strapped to the table in one of those interrogation things in front, you can see a surprising face. It is Agent Batty, who is looking much, and he says, "I found some rather interesting information out about your old partner."
Please do tell.
So, they died. Mysterious, tragic accident down in the trash compactor. Yes?
A horrible way to go. I'm trying to imagine. Most of the time, when you hear about somebody's death, you imagine what the last thing they saw was or what the last thing they heard was. All I can think of what the last thing he smelled was.
Yeah. Well, I know that you've been so worried about finding the perpetrators.
I had every faith that the ISB was on it, sir, and would come to the proper conclusions with all due haste.
Well, I think you're justifying your behavior here. If you'd like to.
Oh, I guess I am, aren't I? I thought I was being sarcastic, but I also am good. I am sarcastically justifying my behavior, so
Exactly,
that's completely legitimate. So, all right. So let me take a look at our moves here to make sure. When you try to justify your behavior, someone roll with face. So I think that's just flat for me. Face is flat for me. So, all right. So I got my roll them on the table dice. Gets me to a 7. With that nice middling result on a 7 and 9. They have a few questions. Mark a stress if you answer with anything other than total honesty. All right. There we go. Let me find
Okay.
my stress meter here.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
I got it.
Yeah. And this man said, "Well, I find your lack of faith disturbing, Miss Thanatos. And tell me, who does the SF think did it?"
There are a number of theories, sir.
And where were you the night that he died?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I was quite intoxicated that evening, as was he, based on the inquest. So we didn't really keep track of each other's movements. Since the time of death hasn't been clearly established, I mean, I was at a club.
And how honest is this, Jim?
This is actually quite honest.
This is quite honest, but is it total honesty? Because I feel this is truth from a certain point of view.
Yeah, no. This is not total honesty.
Okay,
yeah,
then please
totally.
Please mark a stress for that.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, of course, I can't expect. You haven't been through the academy. I can't expect better of you."
No, sir. I was unfortunately I was raised in a broken home here in the slums. Yeah, I know how, and it's a privilege of me just to wear this sad, pathetic uniform and carry this pale imitation of your own badge, sir. So I appreciate how much you've done here to help us.
It sickens me when someone tries to curry the favor of their betters like this, Thanatos.
I was being sarcastic, sir. So if that helps you feel better, I don't want you here any more than you want to be here. So perhaps we could help each other to realize our respective life goals.
Yes, well, indeed. Perhaps you can be as helpful as Agent Batty here. I know who killed your partner, Thanatos. I know who killed Ryson and rebels. Agent Batty has just told me all about his involvement in the Rebel Alliance. An involvement that I'm sure you don't have anything to do with.
I look genuinely surprised.
Yes.
And maybe a little bit delighted, actually. Batty? I knew he was a sanctimonious prick, but I didn't have him pegged for a foolish sanctimonious prick.
Indeed. These rebel scum get everywhere. But he did give us something before the interrogation became too much. Something useful. The way these rebels work is clever. Cells. None of them know more than they need to know. It makes our work very hard. Not like running down the cartels and the petty criminals that you're used to, of course, far beyond you. But knowing that you know the area and you know the people, I thought you might help us track down this our next target.
I will do my best, sir.
And he hits another button and the screen changes from the view of the torture room to a view of Ebla Vizik. She's been spotted with Batty. Surveillance at some of those protests, rabble-rousing instigators that I see. That Kamasi down in the square. Batty tried very hard not to give her name up. I leave it to you to deal with this, Thanatos.
I'll do my best, sir.
Okay. Do you think that it would be extremely cruel of me to ask you to mark a stress at the sight of your childhood friend now being wanted for because stress is something that I can just ask you to mark if it feels stressful.
So, whether it would be cruel or whether it's totally reasonable are, not in any way related? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it would be cruel, and it would also be totally reasonable. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. And I'll
absolutely.
leave you with that thing as we cut across, I think, to you know what? I am gonna have the cook. Where are you outside of your lab when you know you haven't been you have an invitation, you've been invited by Set Crom, a Farlene who owns the Sarlax Bellier pit fighter arena down in 1313. And I think that you're probably walking down the boardwalk, you know, you're walking down the thoroughfare when a repulsor limo pulls up alongside you, and the window winds down, and a thick Herglick steps out and opens the door, and you see sitting in there is a Farlene, Sekrom, who says, Mr. Vizik, do you have a moment?
Not usually. Why
Well,
do you ask?
I can take you wherever you're going to. Do please get in.
Do I know
The,
the person at all?
the Herglick makes very clear that you should get in the car.
Do I know this person at all?
I don't believe that you do know this person at all.
Okay. I am going to. Where is my? As they're doing that, as I'm getting towards the car, what I'm going to do is
I apologize. I've forgotten the start of session moves, guys. So let's do this one, and then I will go back to the start of sessions. Cool.
Uh-huh.
Sorry to interrupt you, Philip. I just wanted to say that while I remembered it, because I'd forget it again in 5 seconds otherwise. So please carry on. Sorry.
I'm going to turn on one of my comms to record this conversation.
Okay.
And,
yeah, that sounds interesting.
and then I'm going to get into the vehicle.
Okay. You get in the vehicle. It pulls away. We flash back to our start of session moves before I return to the scene. Why don't we start off with Cern? Are you fully stocked and cooking?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we? That's what you did before at the very start of the thing, before you stepped outside and got picked up by these guys. So
I got a 10.
A 10, sweet. So you have extra. And what that means is you have an industrial amount to sell. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a few bags; it's like a kilogram or something.
Yeah.
Perfect. That might be handy in this particular limo exchange, one might think. And Jim, I believe you have a starting session move.
I sure do. At the start of a session, I roll with grit.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful, beautiful boxcars there. So on a hit, I get wind of an investigation before things get messy. On a 10 plus, I am positioned to take advantage of the situation. I have access to vital evidence, witnesses, or police personnel, my choice. So I think I'm going to go with crate. I'm going to stick with crate. And I think the
well, I was wondering if we could tie this into the opening scene already.
We could tie it into the thing that you established. I'm totally cool on that. All right.
Yeah. So
right.
I think that.
Oh, you know what I think I like is the idea that I'm positioned to take advantage of the situation because he doesn't necessarily. It seems like he doesn't know that I know her.
No, he doesn't. Not at all.
And I think the other way I'm positioned to take advantage of this is that like none of the other CSF agents in the squad, none of them liked Batty, and so like if I can get that, like I can get them to help me take some of the heat off by throwing as much of our like anything bad any of us has done, we're gonna try and heap on Batty. I think, and like I go to them with like, no, it's great. Your extortion scheme, we blame it on Batty. Your the thing where you're whatever, you're stealing hubcaps. We blame it on Batty, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's the direction that I want to go with that.
Yes, and I think your partner Rex says, I could easily slice into the footage of the civilian of Ebla to make it clear that she did not like Batty.
And it'll be totally believable because nobody liked Batty.
He tips his metal hat. I think. What does he look like? Is he plain clothes as well, but like actually wearing clothes on top of a droid's body kind of stuff?
No, I think like he looks like a like a battered, tarnished protocol droid. And he's got he's got one of those restraining bolts on.
Yes, yeah.
But he's got instead of wearing a badge around, he's got a little panel that he can open like in his chest, and the badge is like there, in it. Yeah. So
is it a real restraining bolt or is it a fake restraining bolt? Because that is his disguise.
I like that. I like that he has a restraining bolt that doesn't really work, but that sets people at ease when he's around. That's cool. He can totally use lethal force if he feels the need to. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. I love it. Thank you guys. Sorry, that was my mistake. We mentioned it beforehand, and then I got caught up in the break. I don't think anybody else has any other starting moves, right? Nope. So back in the limo, the Farlene sits down and smiles, passes you, clicks his fingers, and the Herglick pans you over a glowing misty drink as this repulsor limo smoothly crawls away. And he leans forward and goes, I represent certain interests, Mr. Vicek. Certain interests that have found that I could appreciate a man of your talents.
So, somebody remotely intelligent.
Indeed.
Fine. Awesome.
I feel that Miss Amara doesn't really appreciate the work that you put in for her. Do you feel valued, Chen? Living down here on 1313?
No.
Would you not rather live up there with the shiny people, the pretty people?
Yes.
Well, I can make that happen, Chen.
I'm listening.
What do you know about Black Sun?
A gang. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge.
Well, we can't all be knowledgeable about everything, can we?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to tell me some more about it, or are you just going to leave it out there and just...
I'm going to say to you, I'm going to tell you that I can make you more money than you can ever imagine. If you're willing to come work for me and you're willing to leave the cartel behind, I can get you somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm. How much money are we talking about?
You name your price. In the current situation, a cook with your skills, well, I have some very, very important clients. And besides, Black Sun doesn't only care about what we want. It's about what the cartel has.
Okay.
Do we have a deal?
We have an interest. Because you really haven't told me what it is, where I'd be working, what I'd be working on, who I'd be working for. These are details that we'd really have to hammer out. Right now, we basically have a vague promise that's floating through the air of the limo. You're not necessarily sure of my skills. You've probably heard some things. You probably want to check me out, or at least you should. So before we get to that point, why don't we just dance around for a little while until we figure out if we're the people we want to take home tonight?
Okay, why don't you size someone up?
All right. What would that be?
Plus savagery.
Plus savagery. That's not helpful. I got a 9.
got a 9. You can ask one. It is cell 15, row A on the column A on the moves tab.
Let's see.
That sort of looks like a droid, Jim, which is making me laugh.
What is this person's current weakness?
They're in enemy territory. They don't have the supplies. They don't have the sources. You're worth more to them alive than you are dead.
So, what I think that we need to do at this point is you need to actually make me a real offer with a few specifics and come back this evening and we can talk details. I'm still having this conversation with you. So
the offer, Mr. Vichik, and you can take it, or you can leave it and you can find out what the consequences of that would be. Is you can work for Black Sun. You never come back down to 13. You never have to come back down to 1313 again. We take your family. We take lovely Ebla and your lovely child, your lovely youngling, and we take you far away from here to the highest spires of Coruscant, and you never come back.
Tonight, right now?
I'll need your answer tonight.
Okay.
You're recording all this, right?
Of course I would be.
Sounds like you're pushing your luck.
Yep. Should I roll for push my luck?
Yeah, entirely, yeah. Roll for push your luck. Roll with plus grit, push your luck.
9.
Things don't work out like you hoped. You're dropped off by the Faline, who doesn't get your recording. But as you get out of the car, you out of the repulsor limo, and I don't think near your lab because that would be too obvious, right? It's probably near your home, right? I think. Well, why don't we just say Ebla? Ebla is coming back at the same time outside of your tenements sort of building, and she comes up. Sharon, what is this?
I turn around.
And
I immediately turn around and just say, with the shape that the empire is in right now, every university is in pursuit of all of the greatest professors and minds, and everybody is just trying to figure out, I just want to be left alone, but right now everybody wants me to go and work for them, so I don't want to teach. So basically I'm bullshit.
Yeah, justify your behavior.
Let's see. Face. Not good. That's a 6.
That's a 6. Oof. Okay.
No,
on a
that is a 4.
A 4. Well, on a miss. On a miss. Let me have a quick look back at my GM moves.
I would like to double down on this and push my luck.
How so?
As immediately as she is starting, I can tell she is doubting me. But I just want to grab her and I want to kind of point to the other levels, and I want to go. They keep wanting to take me to the to the stratosphere of Coruscant, but you were raised here on 1313. I'm just at this point I've probably lied to this woman 1,000 times.
Yes,
I'm trying to continue the lie.
I think you know what this is going to say. She's going to be like, oh, tonight You always had such they want you for the things that you make in their lab, but these words are just so beautiful, so beautiful. Come with me. I was going to go see Mr. The speaker down at the plaza. Will you join me?
Of course, she could ask for anything at this point. So
Yes. So you are heading down to see Eska Lasono, the instigator that was being talked about previously, who is going to talk about how the Emperor is dead, the old ways are gone. It's time for a new dawn, a new republic, one might say. Yeah.
well,
So,
crap.
yes, you will be walking into some particularly hairy situation, I think, here. And Crate. You have been asked by Amara Tavi, the Kasheri drug lord, rings you on your comm. Great. I have a job for you. You? Where is the name? Go to. What was the name of your club again? Jalda?
I'm not sure I have a name. I will get one to you shortly.
We could just call it Jaldar's. Yeah.
Jaldar's.
Go to Jaldar's. Asori is there getting dance. Take him to back room. Show him a good time. One that he will never remember and that he will never speak of again.
And I don't verbally respond because I don't want to leave any evidence. So I just kind of give like the little beep response.
Yeah. Like the clones would do, like click,
Affirmative.
click down the radio. Nice, I love it.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, over at Jaldar's Dance Club, we have Asori Abra, the Gamorrean enforcer, has come over, and he is pouring away at Inez, who is just like, Sif off, you carking nerf herder, like. And he's like, well, come on, baby, it's only what. Just because you can't rob me doesn't mean you can't have fun. Hey, what are you looking at? Duros, you don't know how to have fun.
And I kind of look for, does Ennis have this under control? She would signal and say, hey, we have a problem here if she feels threatened.
No, she just rolls her eyes and is like, asshole, and pours a drink over him, and one of the other girls comes over and starts, and he's just like, he laughs to himself, quite drunk. And Oyuna comes in with a glamorous looking human who is wearing, like a simple outside robe, but as she takes it off, you can see that she's wearing like very fine clothes, very, very upper level. And Ayuna comes over and whispers to her and points towards you. And then the woman nods and then comes over with a smile. Hi, I love the place you've got here, and the dance is so sexy.
Yeah. Why don't we go over here to the bar and we'll have a drink? And I kind of walk her over. She obviously looks like she knows what she's doing. I get a drink for both of us, a nice, subtle, something that we can discuss.
And she holds out her hand to you and says, I'm Shashaver Astapone, and I'm just down here looking for some party favors. I hear lovely Oyuna tells me that you're the person to speak to.
Absolutely. I mean, basically the way that this works is, you get an invite into the back room, and in the back room is where all the party favors are. Depending on your taste, what kind of taste are you looking for? If I can't satisfy your needs, I'll make sure I find someone who can.
And she spins around on the bar stool and she says, "Oh, I think nice bits of spice would do the trick. It's been so hard to get hold of up there, you know?"
Oh, well, it can be difficult to find. I'm not sure that this is the right place. What exactly? What makes you think that I would deal in such illicit kinds of materials?
And she bats her eyelashes at you. Ayuna's such a lovely girl. Such a lovely girl.
She is. Yeah, I really appreciate her. So, are you interested in going to the back room?
Why, yes. I'm up for all sorts of fun in the back room.
Yeah.
She winks at you. And she says, "And if you've got the party favors, well, maybe I could offer you something in return."
And what would that be?
The Astapone family has, well, you wouldn't know, obviously, but we're in the export-import business. And I hear things are tough down here with the Imperial security. Someone who was serious about things and helping out little old me might have, well, I leave it up to your imagination.
Oh, I greatly appreciate your interest. Do you have a card? And I pass my equivalent of a card over. This is a kind of a VIP pass to the back room.
Yeah. She will come with you to the back room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is when Crate arrives. Crate, you have your mission. What do you do? How do you approach it?
For the sake of engaging the mechanics, I think I want to try the hunter move. Let's see what happens. Okay, so roll with savagery to track him down. All right, let's do. Okay, I'm going to move these dice to the side. 2d6. Let me get a color. Sure, we'll go with orange. Okay. So I got a 7 total.
A 7. So they have backup, or it's public. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to go to the back room with you. When you come in, I think he's out there. He's having fun.
Yeah, he's having too much fun.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes it public is it's here in this main room, and it's also there's a CSF guy sat down in the back of the room as well. You know, just off duty drinking.
Okay, let me look at my stuff again. I've got a lot. Right.
And who's the mark here?
The Asori Abra, the Gamorrean who tried to convince Thanatos to rip off the drug lord.
Okay.
Clearly pushed his luck a bit too far. So yeah.
Okay. So is it pretty packed right now? Is it pretty busy, or what?
I think it's fairly, like it's quite quiet actually. Like it's there's a few people in. It's picking up, but it's not like rammed wall to wall kind of thing. It's
sure. Okay, so here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm gonna ask him 3 times, and I'm letting him know that if he doesn't come when I ask him the 3rd time, then that's the end.
I think that's a pressure someone then, if you'd like to roll that.
Yeah. What do I roll that with?
When you pressure someone to go along with you, roll plus hustle.
Oh, perfect. That's 0. Okay. Let's re-roll those. I got an 8. No. Oh wait, I got a 12. Oh my gosh.
Nice. On a hit, they see a point. They have to go along with you for now or mark stress. He's like, oh, shit, great, Cispit, I'll come with you. No problem. I will be with you. No worries. And he'll come with you into the back.
Okay.
You know, like, we can sort this out. It's not a big deal. So you are no longer in public. You are now in the back room.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess.
I think at first we will just quickly cut over to Jaldar and Thingy. And Jaldar Astapone says, "Listen, as soon as you go for the door, like her demeanor changes instantly from this coquettish socialite. She walks straight. She loses the swing to her hips, and she pulls that aside, and you can see that she's packing. And there's a mean set of vibroblades and a blaster on her hip." So do you have product, darling?
Oh yeah,
Nope.
yeah. No problem. Let me show you where we are. And I walk her back into the back room. I think I walk her back actually on the way by a couple of the really nice back rooms that are legit. And then we see, we walk past an open door where they're actually, cutting the spice and that kind of stuff. So she can see what kind of, the amount of product that we're talking about. And then I step her back into like one of the, the equivalent of a hookah room. Yes, and we go back there and we sit down and I say, I make sure I have some fancy cigar box kind of things. And I open them up and I offer her one and I'm like, would you like to taste the merchandise first or, sample in some way?
I'm not really interested in sharing the party favors myself. You want us to keep a clear head, What I'm interested really is long-term business, Jaldar. I just had to see whether or not you had these small little things, which I'll take a few samples, of course, but I can bring in traffic. I can reopen the flow of traffic from 1313 all the way back to Nar Shaddaa.
And
I need your help moving some little things around Coruscant. You understand?
I understand it. So let's first talk price. And given the amount of product that Zern has been able to make so far, I think I quote a fairly high price. This is something that's higher than what we would normally see on the street in order to get some traffic going.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe off-world, this might be more like a reasonable price.
Yeah. Well, propose a deal then. Roll with faith.
Oh, yeah. My face is a +1. And I got an 8 on the dice, so that's a 9.
A 9. Okay. They impose a condition on your offer, I think. Which is you need to give them an introduction to Amari Tavi, the Kasheri drug lord for the Hutt cartel.
No problem. Amari's my best friend. You had mentioned wanting to move some other things, and all I really need to do, of course, I think we're talking about I send out product. I have an empty container. That can come back. Everything should be fine. If it contains something, all the more the merrier. I mean, that just means that more money for everyone.
I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful relationship, an alliance, as if you will.
I'm telling you, I think that you have your man right now. When would you like to meet with Amara?
Oh, in time units amount of time. We will cut across to Crate, who the guy, Asori is Crate. What's this all about? And you push him through, and you're stood in front of that doorway to the back room, and he turns around and he's like, "Please, Crate, I have family back on Garmor. I have 10 Sporer mates. It's not big deal. Tell her I can be trusted. I can be trusted."
And it just sort of like in a stereotypical sort of like low growl, he says, "It's not personal, it's business." And then I just pull out my vibro sword and take care of
Yeah,
him.
which is when he grabs the table and tries to swing the hookah, like the spice pipe, and tries to slash it on your head. So let's turn to violence, I think. Roll with savagery.
Okay. Let's give this a go. All right. I got a 13. No, wait, 5. It always keeps changing at the last minute.
Yeah.
I got a +2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9, so you can choose.
So at a 9, can I potentially help with my bouncer that's there?
You can help, I think, with even as you're tidying up your business with Shaseva. She leaves out the back, and then you hear her out the door, and then boom, the Gamorrean comes slamming through with Crate wielding a vibro sword above. So you're in this mix as well. So please feel free to help.
Yeah. So I think that the way that I help is I smoothly step out of the way, but I kind of nod to Trogor, who's the bouncer at the edge of the VIP area.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Trogo leaves his post and steps over, and whenever this Gamorrean throws the desk or the pipe at Crate, I think that's when the Trandoshan goes to sucker punching. So for the help, I wager my own stress. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to wager 2 stress and then roll with that. See what that looks like. So I rolled a 7 plus 2 is 9.
Mm-hmm. So you mark 2 stress, but Crate does get a +1 to their roll, which means that you can choose 3 things. So you mark stress by simply turning to violence to begin with, and you can choose 3 from those options there.
Okay. So I'm going to suffer little harm.
Okay.
Going to inflict terrible harm and resist marking stress.
Okay. Yeah. So he goes to punch you. Jaldar's friend, like the bouncer friend, comes in and like grabs his arms, leaving you perfectly in place to just stab him straight through. However you like, he's dead, and he doesn't even get a punch in on you. It's a job well done. But I think the collateral damage is the suspicion. Like there's blood on the floor. There's this. The heat is on. Is slightly elevated for this area.
Do you want me to increase my heat by 1?
You know what I actually want is I want Jaldar to increase his heat by 1.
Okay. So yeah. I see Crate cleans off the blade, assuming unless the vibro blade just takes care of that naturally, on the mark. Thanks the Trandoshan for their assist.
Mm-hmm.
And then would you like for me to roll my other special move for taking care of bodies?
Oh, that sounds good. If that's what you're saying you're going to go do, yeah.
That's like my normal operation. Like if there's a mess, you got to clean it up.
Yeah, where is that? That is wrap it up. Yeah.
Yep.
That CSF agent is still outside, right? Like,
yeah.
And you know what? This is really bad timing. As Shasiva Astapone has left, the camera shows her going down the street, looking behind her, and then stepping into a hover car and racing away. And as she goes away, a Coruscant gunship manned with stormtroopers leaning out the window is doing a sweep up the street, stopping and getting out, almost as though they're looking for somebody. Who knows what that could be?
Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, wrap it up.
Okay, so I roll that 2. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, let's hit reroll. So that is a 9. Okay, so in a 9,
you clear 1 stress, you lose it, and it stays lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you dump. There's like a
I kind of feel, given that we're dealing with drugs and things like that, there's probably something like acid or something like that to clean up after ourselves. What do you think?
That is a specific move for the Cocinero, but there's no reason why this can't be part of the the overall thing. Like it's Coruscant. There's vats of strange acid anywhere
Sure.
as well. Yeah, 100%. You wrap it up in one of the curtains from the booths here, and you take it out, and no one's aware. The CSF agent nods, salutes the clone as you go past, like.
So, Craig, just off to the side, I actually, since you have a better connection with Amara than I do, I'd really appreciate your help. Considering the help that we gave to you, tell her that I have a business arrangement with someone from the upper levels that we might want to meet with. I think it would be quite lucrative to all of us. Would you mind passing along that message?
So Crate sort of eyes you up and down and just sort of gives this curt nod. And
Always dependable, Crate. I really appreciate it.
Puts his sword away, checks everything else out, and then just kind of leaves the room like he was never there.
Nice. So, Ori, what are you doing? Because we know where Churn's going to. So,
I'm immediately gonna pick up my personal phone, and I am going to call Zern.
Zern, you are at a big, it's like where the food lines are normally. When the humanitarian packages get trickled down outside the med center, and there's this Kamasi giving that speech I mentioned earlier about a new way of life, a new republic can be built. We don't need to, like the Empire can't reach us down here. And Ebla's looking at you like, I want to leave, I love living here, but like, I just wish we could see the sun again, Used to be able to travel back in the days of the Republic.
I agree. Where would you like to go?
I don't know. Up. With you.
Well, thank you. And with you, but how high up?
Oh, all the way to the stars, baby.
On Coruscant? Or elsewhere?
While we're wishing, why don't I even say Alderaan, Like, it's never going to happen.
Well, especially now, because Alderaan's been destroyed for about 15 years at this point.
Punches you in the shoulder. That's the point, stupid. God. And then your comlink goes off.
This is what happens when you're answering everybody out there. It's like you're everybody's phone a friend. Excuse me, I need to take this. And then I kind of step off to the side and answer the phone. Always.
Is she with you? Okay, look away from her, because what I'm about to tell you, you're not going to want to be looking at her when I tell you this.
I'll look away.
All right. So the imp who is overseeing us right now thinks she's a rebel. Why do you think that this is funny? The idea of it may amuse you, but this is serious business. They've got people on her. They showed me her picture this morning. I'm supposed to bring her in for questioning. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Bring her in for questioning?
So fix it. Okay.
I'm going to need your help to do that.
What do you need?
All right. We're going to have to.
Okay.
We're going to have to get together.
I mean,
okay.
Is that the extent of the plan, or have you thought this through?
Xanatos, you get incoming message on another channel. It's Rex, your partner.
Okay, so I say, hang on a sec. I got to put you on hold for a second. We should
Okay.
get together. There's a place I know. Hang on. You know,
Yeah.
like you know, flick off the one
Yeah.
comm and the official comm. It's like two cell phone, whatever.
Yeah, the burner and
whatever,
the real one.
communication.
Music is John Williams, girl from Ipanema playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Partner, I have a lead on the rebel.
Which rebel? I'm having trouble keeping track.
Abla Vernchuk.
They're everywhere. They're like
Yes,
rats.
there is a
You can't
raid
control
being
them.
prepared on a gathering down near the med center now. I am heading down there to get Abla, the suspect, out from the crowd before the stormtroopers come in.
Oh no! Oh, okay. To get her out before the stormtroopers. Okay, I'll be there in a second. Just wait for me. All right. There's no way that I'm letting you get sole credit for this. We've talked.
You have as long as it takes my servos to get there, Xanatos.
All right. Click off. Come on, Tazern. They're coming for her now.
Okay.
The raid just started. Get out of there.
I put the phone down. I grab her and
what do you want, honey? What's going on? He hasn't fit. Which is when the spotlight pierces through the steam from above, and you hear the "Stay where you are. This is an illegal assembly."
I look at her and I go, I always knew you were trouble in this relationship. And I go, follow me, let's go.
Cool. Sounds like you are. Yes, fleeing from security for sure. I was just looking at the avoid suspicion, but no, you're definitely fleeing from security. Yeah.
Let's see. I want to look around and find a closed and secured building. And I want to jury rig a way to get into one of these facilities. So basically what I want to do is I want to go in somewhere and lock it behind me.
Okay, that sounds good. You roll plus heat to flee from security, and we'll see how well that goes.
All right. Do I have any heat?
I think you're at 0 at the moment.
I have a 7.
A 7, which is good because you want to roll lower on these things. You can escape the authorities by sacrificing something. Now, I tell you, there's only one thing I'm going to ask you to sacrifice in this situation.
I sacrifice the drugs.
No. I tell you what your freedom will cost you this time. Ebla is slowing you down. As you make your way through the thing, she goes through the door and she calls out to somebody else in the crowd, like, come on this way. As you then the stormtroopers point. So, if she's this bleeding heart, this kind-hearted woman, she's going to get you killed, or it's going to escalate from there.
Now, what I want to do is, so the choice is either not get away or get away with her.
Not get, if you get away with her, getting away with her is going to involve perhaps fighting, pushing your luck or something like that, or maybe the intervention of another PC at some point. It will escalate. You'll take stress, I think, as it goes on. Maybe raise her heat, or you can leave her behind and make it safe.
I'll push my luck.
Yeah. Cool. So you get into the building. The stormtroopers, though, are kicking the door behind you, but you're working your way through there, and it's more about kind of like taking the right route through this derelict building to put some distance between the two of you. So why don't you push your luck?
Yeah, let me do that.
You hear blaster bolts fire as one of the rebels puts up a fight. Oh my God! She screams.
That is a 8.
An 8. Could you mark stress just for this stressful situation, please?
Yes.
And I'm going to be cruel but reasonable again, and I'm going to add an extra. Give you actually to mark. Add your heat as well for being spotted with this wanted rebel. But you do leave behind the. You do manage to get away from the stormtroopers, and you're pushing your way through the building. Rex.
Where do I mark heat?
Heat is just above stress. It's not a drop-down box. It's kind of like a stat. I need to use David Morrison's character keeper, or at least I need to change all the Spanish in that because it's like the swanky version of this one, basically. But in any case, you are in. You have made it through. Ebla is with you, like, oh my god, like, what's going on, honey? You know, like those people, they're gonna kill them. And we cut over to Xanatos as a message comes in from Rex saying, "Can't wait any longer. I'm on her."
Oh, I'm racing over there on my speeder bike right now.
Mm-hmm. When you follow someone through the streets, roll with grit. On a 10+, where they go, you follow. On a 7 to 9, you lose them at the last moment. You are probably spotted. On a miss, you end up exposed without backup or cover. I think we can use this one to represent you chasing down the sort of this trio. You know, Rex is in hot pursuit on his own. Yeah. Sure. I think you exposed without backup or cover will be that Rex will have backup or cover, you know, like
if it's a thing where like Rex has them in sight, as long as I have Rex in sight, I know I've got them in sight. So
exactly, yeah.
I love that. That's the very noir kind of thing going on. So
you got exactly where I was going with that.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna roll with grit. My grit's +1. See what we got here. That is a 3. +1 is 4.
Oof.
So yeah. I end up exposed without backup or cover.
Okay, then I think that you're following Rex right through this. You swoop in. He doesn't know that you've got a you've managed to patch into that restraint. That restraining bolt's for a fake, but you've slipped something extra in there, right? You're tracking him down, but the signal starts cutting out as you.
So like one of the things that I have, I get access to technology for being an officer, and one of the two. So I've got access to military grade body armor if I need it, and I've got bugs and tracking devices.
Yes, entirely. Yeah.
So yeah, no, like I put a bug on Rex like the first day that we met. So I feel like that's entirely reasonable to say that's a thing that happened.
Well, I mean, this is when you come in and you follow the tracer and you go down through the you kick the speeder bike, you go down through the route. This is the skylighty type thing, and. Churn, you hear a window open. You hear a door slam and footsteps coming down towards you, and you see Ori Xanatos. There's no sign of Rex anywhere, Ori.
Oh wow. All right. So, is she with him?
Ebla is with him, yeah. And Ebla's like, Ori, what are you doing? What are you doing here? We got to get out of here.
And I say, you need to get out of here because you're the one they're looking for. And I just walk over to her. I'm gonna do the thing where I like grab her arm and like kind of basically sort of ignore Zern. And I'm like, we need to get out of here now, I say to her as I'm like starting to drag her like back up to my speeder bike.
Zern, are you following them?
Actually, I'm going to go. You two go. They don't want me here. I'm just I'm going to lie to her for the third time about what I do. I go, I'm just a college professor. You're apparently some sort of nefarious villain. So you run. They can't do anything to me. And I go, Ori, hold on a second. And I basically slip him my package of death stick or whatever it is that I've made. And I go, look out for her. And by her, I tap the package twice.
As you slip over that package, from the shadows, a pair of bright yellow eyes suddenly flicker on. Interesting way of arresting the suspect, partner.
So
blaster hand is like, flipped down, and there's a little blaster pistol stick poking out of it. He flips that badge open.
Can Crate be there in the shadows with his sniper rifle?
Ooh, why don't you roll me? I tell you what, why don't we do like a sort of a bladey type thing, and we can mark a stress to do a flashback where that did that. Um,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, you know what? I guess what was your tie with Xanatos? You owe Xanatos for getting you out of a tight spot, right? So Xanatos, did you ask for some
Yep. Exactly.
Overwatch on this?
No,
No?
no, he's gonna fuck this up. He's gonna kill people.
Okay. Then I definitely want
Yeah. Oh
Craig
yeah.
to be-
No. He's the last person I want here.
Hey, you know what? Why don't I set this up? You might have the stress for that flashback. And Amara's going to say, the cook is under suspicion. Tidy, make sure he doesn't get snatched. And yeah, and you saw Xanatos' speeder bike come sweeping, and you were tracking Xanatos.
Sweet. Totally gonna take out Rex.
Well, why don't we? You know what?
Well, we'll see if it happens.
I think that's you rolling Hunter in this situation. When you track someone down, roll with savagery.
Right. Let's see what that does. I got an 11.
You got an 11. Sweet. You have them exposed or vulnerable. So Rex is saying to, and feel free at any point to say, like, I just shoot them. So Rex is Xanatos. I am disappointed, partner.
And I hold up a hand and I say, look, you don't understand. You both know that imp. If they get a hold of her, they're just going to torture her and she's going to die and we're not going to find out what's actually going on. We need to do this our way. Think of this. If we can do this, we can crack this whole thing wide open. He's single-minded, not like you and me. We both understand what's going on down here, Rex. If you just give me 48 hours, I swear to you, I will give you all the credit for this. Yeah.
Propose a deal, I think. Yeah. Roll plus face.
Yeah.
You can help or interfere, Churn, with anything in this situation.
So this is flat. Oh yeah, that's a 4.
That's a 4.
I do feel
his eyes blink, and he.
So just real quick, I do feel like this deal I'm proposing is me trying to work both sides against each other without them knowing it.
Yes, no, entirely. But
I'm going to take an XP for that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that. Sorry, I should have gone over the keys just because it's a one shot.
Okay.
It won't matter that much.
But it doesn't matter. Yeah. Go
if you guys ever feel like you've hit your keys, you know, I'm 100% behind that. Yeah, I think the downside of that is he goes like, I know what happened to your last partner, Xanatos. I know how things went down here.
Click.
Well, you fire. I think you fire just as he fires.
Yeah, like this sound is about the same time.
Yeah.
Who is Rex firing at?
I was going to be really mean and say Elba, but I think he's headed firing at Xanatos because Xanatos is the one with the blaster.
I jump in front of Ebla just in case it is firing at Ebla.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice. That's
nice.
So dramatic.
So I don't think there's like a role that you need to do to assassinate someone like this. You definitely got Rex with your sniper rifle at this point. You know, the difficulty will be getting out of here now. But Ori, I am afraid due to that miss, you get fucking shot.
Oh yeah, I get carking shot, no doubt about it.
Get carking shot, yeah.
It's a blaster pistol or other small weapons, right? So I'm going to take for that. The shooter's an amateur isn't trying to kill me. Neither of those is true. Yes. You have cover, body armor, or bodyguard. I have body armor. So, although, you know what? I didn't come in wearing my body armor, I think. So that's probably...
I would assume an officer the chest piece under there, you know.
Yeah,
because your body armor is resilient, bulky.
Sure.
So I think that whenever you've got your body armor on, we're saying that you're not really in your plain clothes. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? I do have cover.
You do have cover.
I do have cover.
Indeed, you do have cover. This is exactly how I got Rich's character killed, was by using him as cover. Yeah. So as Churn leaps in front of his wife, Ori grabs.
Oh yeah. I'm pulling her in front of me to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's see. Let me roll hit here. What do we got? So I'm rolling at +2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 4 + 2 is 5. Oh yeah, there we go. My dice are on fire today.
So what did you get?
I got a 5.
You got a 5. Sweet. You're pretty much finished then, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Wow. You're pretty much finished. I think this means that Churn definitely helps you. Definitely pulls you. You grab her to pull her in front, and Churn, I think, just like smacks you in the face, right? Like just
or we're just like each of us has an arm.
yeah.
Or whatever, and I just get blasted.
Cracks you back up against the wall.
And I think Ebla realizes that her best friend just tried to use her as blaster cover.
Yeah, and then Rex, like as the thing goes, like, now come with, and a blaster bolt just comes straight in and takes his head clean off, rolling the body to the ground next to the mortally wounded Xanatos.
Xanatos, I realize what happened, and Xanatos is down on the ground, and I open up the jacket and I see where the blaster hit her right in the chest. I just lean forward and I put my fist, my large hand around her throat, and I just squeeze.
Ooh, mark of stress for that, I think. Yeah, and oh, you know what?
He's not a killer. It's just he just saw what she just did.
Do you want to call that dishing out a beatdown? To clear some stress. Roll with savagery.
I don't even know what it is. It's just.
I think it's fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fiction. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm just looking at the time and being like, how do I get another roll where I could possibly turn it into thing? But sweet, you kill. You know what? I'm gonna cut across to Jaldar to do a scene with that. I feel that like we'll do. I'll do Jaldar. You guys are out. Ebla and Churn have enough cover to get out of here at this point. We will probably come back to them like on the run from whatever, right?
Oh, can I do one last thing before I die?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was gonna come back to you
cool.
for your epilogue.
Right. Yep.
Just because I'm looking at the time and I'm like, there's probably just enough time for a scene with Jaldar and the setup, and then we'll cut back and do that as the epilogues kind of stuff, But the broader fiction is that the couple gets away, and Krait's packing down his sniper rifle.
Oh, I specifically want to do something before they got away.
Oh, okay. And you know what? You do that before they get away, then, Jim. Let's see it.
Okay, which is that he reaches down. He's got me by the throat. I feebly try to spit at him. It doesn't really go very far, but I kind of am like scrabbling with my left hand, and I get the bottom of that satchel. And like with my last ounce of strength, I just lift it up by the bottom so that all the drugs in it spill out where she can see. And like and I like lock eyes with her, and I'm looking at her when I die.
And I go, not only was she wasn't your friend, she was just a dirty cop.
Nice. You know what? You guys get away. Krait can get away as well.
Yeah, like Krait after he took the shot, he's just growly voice under his breath says, "And now we're even."
Jaldar, is there a scene that you would like to do?
So either a scene with Amara to see how happy she is about this thing or how unhappy, or the scene with Astapone where she double crosses.
Yeah.
Double cross.
The double cross is always a good one.
That's a great cliffhanger.
Yeah. Astapone. We'll take it as read that you've managed to set up a meeting with Amara, right?
Oh yeah, so I'm there whenever the two of them meet.
And it goes really well, like Perfect. The two women are smiles and shakes, and they've come to an arrangement. And Astapone at the end of it comes up to you and is like, let's why thank you so much, Jaldar. Let's celebrate, huh?
Absolutely. I think that's the best thing here. I mean, we have a bright future ahead of us.
Nice. Well, and she walks over to she says, I hope you don't mind. It's a bit fancy, but I brought my my limo, my repulsor limo with me.
Oh yeah.
Eagle-eyed viewers might recognize it. And she gets in, and there's the security, the screen in between it, and she pulls out some spice. And I'm just looking at the drug moves. Is it interesting to do any of them here? No, I don't think particularly. And she says, I really couldn't have done this without you. It's going to be so important for the work ahead to come to an agreement with the cartel. The Astapone family's got so much in the future. Thank you for everything that you've done. Which is when the thing rolls down, and you see the Farlene in the back, and he turns around and says, Black Sun had no idea where the cartel leader was. Thank you, Jaldar.
Jaldar says, you're more than welcome. I mean, that was the plan all along, was to make sure that I got in good with the Black Sun, and they took over this area, and maybe made sure that my take was a little bit higher than normal.
You want to do that? I think that's, I think that's pushing your luck more than anything else, frankly, in this situation. Yeah.
What's my grit? My grit's a -1. Let's see what that looks like. So obviously you can see this. He turns, he sees the Black Sun. There's a little bit of a start, and then a little bit of bead of sweat, and he's just trying to talk his way out of it.
If you want my help, I can look imposing.
I'll call you in if I need something.
Yeah.
I rolled boxcars, so that makes it an 11.
Nice.
Okay. Fortunately, the Astapone and Crom look at each other, and she raises an eyebrow and goes like, "This guy, right?" Like, as soon as I saw that fancy getup that he's wearing, I knew that he was ambitious. I knew that he'd want these things. Can you believe it?
And there's more than just my crew that I can bring along. I can tell you about who's trustworthy and who's not within the organization, and who will serve you well.
That's nice. Well, I think this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Jaldar. And that limo pulls away as a repulsor truck comes down, like a Jawa scow kind of thing, and it lands in front of the luxurious nightclub that Amara is in. And as the doors at the back of the hatch opens up, and then two spheres roll out of the thing, and then suddenly extend into destroyer droids. And as the limo flies away, you hear
and shatter and like lights from within the club that are explosions and stuff.
Yes, entirely. We're at 9:45. If it's okay, I think that we're not going to get any more interesting stuff out of that. Thank you very much, guys. If we could do stars and wishes and things. Oh, and epilogues. Let's do epilogues. Jim, I know Thanatos is dead, but you are free to epilogue out like whatever the hell you want to epilogue out, like in terms of whatever, basically. So, how would you like to go first, or would you like to go last?
I'll go last. That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. Since I got killed, why don't I wrap it up?
Philip, in the sort of like the after titles or the next time on, what do we see Chen?
I think Churn is Churn in the true true feeling of Breaking Bad. He immediately turns around and more or less gaslights his wife and explained to him that because she is now wanted, he's going to have to find a bad job with with evil people to get her out of here. He didn't want to, but it's her fault.
Oh my god.
You're the worst.
And anybody that makes something that kills people for a living has got to be bad at the level.
I truly think you should play Cartel as the worst, because then it's fine when you die, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
And he turns around and goes, and because of that, and because I love you, I will do that for you. And then he immediately turns around and accepts the job offer.
Nice. Jaldar.
Yeah, so I think what we see from Jaldar is sort of like a montage. We see, Jaldar talking with the Faline set prom and kind of saying, okay, this person, that person, and that person's loyal. And then we see the guns go off and that person crumples. And then the next set is, him in a better dance club where he's kind of set up, and his tried to be fancy street clothes are now real fancy street clothes. And then you see a move up, another move up where he's like in luxury. And then finally, the last scene, we see Doros on the ground in a pool of his own blood. And, just a street thug has come through and just taken him out. And, I think that's good enough. The lesson here, of course, is you reach high, you fall far.
Oh, there's a nice montage at the end. This is how the episode ends: is the montage of you going up like the dancing away in one of your clubs, and then like just dead on the floor in your office.
On the floor in an alley in like the worst place possible.
Love it. I love it. Crate.
Yeah.
The Black Suns declared war on the cartel. They seem to have done a decapitation strike, and they're killing anybody who's loyal. What's the follow-up for Crate, though?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think there's one little scene first where I don't remember what markings that clone troopers get as like they go up in ranks besides changing their colors. But like I feel like he would, after that sort of exchange, there was some respect for Jaldar. And so he would have given him something similar to like a medal or something, like as a sign of badge of respect for that. But in the future, what we would see is that he would continue to try to infiltrate the old ranks of the Empire and take out any officers or anyone who basically went from the Old Republic and switched sides to join the Empire and assassinate them.
Oh, like the head of the ISB, for example.
Yeah, like he's doing like the Nazi hunting, basically within the Empire, and using his actions and his skills from knowing how they operate, knowing how they used to think, to try to take them out one by one.
Oh, I'd like to make a. Well, you know what? I'll come back to that. It was my little epilogue, maybe. But we'll do that. We'll see what Jim.
Sure.
From the heavens.
Is he a Force ghost now?
No. She is not anything like a Force ghost. I kind of like the idea that that basically it all got all the stuff that I had talked about. How no, this is cool. We can pin it all on Batty. It ends up piling up on me. Like the fact that I was, I can't help but think that Zern is smart enough to have, before he left, made sure there was like, a packet of drugs in my hand that they found on my dead body, right? And, like grabbed my gun, shot my partner a couple of times, put the gun back in my hand, stuff like this, so like totally. Phil, does that sound like the kind of thing you're smart enough to have?
Oh yeah, and I zeroed out Rex's memory, so they couldn't go back and play any recordings.
Sure.
Well, I was going to say that this is when we just creates Nazi hunting thing. It shows you the Imperial, the head of the ISB, commending a huge bust that one of its star rising agents has just done, and it cuts to the repaired Rex, who has been rebuilt and reforged and is now spray painted in the ISB colours. And as it cuts back, and then it shows you Crate preparing, their munitions and their bombs and stuff through the eyes of Rex, watching this whole scene, as Rex is being awarded for all of the bad stuff, and uncovering this vile plot by Xanatos to work with the cartels, who were clearly some rebel sympathizers. As meanwhile, Shasiva Ashtapone and Black Sun begin the work of replacing the Hutt cartel with people who are a bit more amenable to smuggling weapons to the people of Coruscant. And that was Hutt Cartel, guys. Thank you very, very much for playing. Let's do.
I just want to apologize for being a completely horrible individual and for even thinking of some of those things, but.
Oh no, I loved it so much. That was exactly the energy that I wanted everyone to bring to Cartel. Let's do. I guess Roses and Thorns. I suppose Thorns can be wishes, stuff that you wish you could have seen in more sessions, sort of stuff. Let's start off with Thorns so that we can do Roses at the end. I will start off with my own Thorn for myself, which is just, Cartel's a lot to manage. Pacing, I'd say my biggest regret is that I managed to I could only ever work out ways of getting 3 of you in a scene rather than 4 of you at different ends, kind of stuff. It didn't seem to be. I wonder if that might be a problem with the lone wolf hitman nature of the Sicario makes it the kind of in and out sort of thing. Because I think back to my previous games, and until we made them literally a family member, it was a bit like that, Those are, my thorns are unfamiliarity with the system and finding myself overwhelmed with a number of NPCs. When next time I play this, I think I'll be prepared to not get who said what. But that's me. Philip, if you would like to start off with thorns, any thorns, wishes?
I think the thorns I have a lot of games like this, which are by the time we get ramped up, where we kind of create this world, and then we don't just you kind of want to explore it a little bit more. So it's a positive thorn. It's one of those where we created a good thing. Maybe in the future, instead of maybe limit it to 1 NPC or 2 NPCs for players, just for a one shot,
I think that's definitely a good idea. I was thinking that was my initial thought, was just if we just trimmed out half of the people, the big NPCs, we just kept it who's your current partner, who suspects you, right? And then that would be plenty kind of stuff. But yeah, good point. Jaldar.
I can't think of anything strictly, like you said, there was a lot of NPCs to keep track of, and you did a really good job of using their names, so I had to constantly refer back to other sheets to figure out which ones they were. So that was the only source of confusion I saw in there. But other than that, it was great.
David?
The only thing I have to say is I think this would have worked better as a 2-shot, given the ground that we have to cover in it. But I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm not a fan of Breaking Bad, mostly because of how what's his name treats his family.
Yeah.
So you were reminding me.
Yeah.
That's the reason I stopped watching it. It wasn't the violence or anything else. But I really enjoyed this game, and I loved it in the setting. I thought everyone did a great job.
Yeah. I get a little bit anxious whenever I commit to Gauntlet games, and the time, and it's stupid, it's just beforehand, but so 2 shots made me what if the first one's a disaster? I don't want to have to carry it on. But now that I've run it, I'll be I could do a 4th shot of this, no problem. And Jim?
Yeah, any PBTA game that is not explicitly designed to be a 1-shot, like Dino Island or something like that, should always be done as a 2-shot. Because then it's a feature film, and or something like that. Even if it's we played for 3, and especially because we have shorter slots, you can do a a reasonably satisfying game of Cartel. If you bum rush the setup and have a 4-hour convention slot face to face, you can get something that pretty much works. But even then, at the end, you're all like, shit, I wish we had more time with these characters and stuff like that. But certainly, like, the big thorns I have is that essentially in a one-shot like this, stress is basically meaningless.
I should have been really tough with the stress, and my future thing is to be much more like in a one shot, like really.
Just have a start with three marked or something like that.
That's not a bad idea.
That's another thing you can do. Stress is meaningless. The keys are meaningless. There's not even any reason to have them on the sheet.
Hey, they worked great for me.
Yeah. Okay. But part of the problem with keys are great. But the nature of keys means that depending on how the session goes, like they'll eventually even out over multiple games.
Yeah.
But like if you have a character whose keys are all about double crossing and setting up deals and all this kind of stuff, and it's and the game is mostly about a bust and people running away from a bust and stuff like this, you're not going to hit any of those keys. But if you've got an action-oriented character, you're going to hit 6 of them or something like that.
Yeah, in 4 sessions of Cartel, I think I hit my El Jefe's keys like twice.
Yeah, so like
impossible.
It'll even out over multiple sessions because you're doing different sources.
Yeah.
But in a one shot, it can be.
I think a love letter is a really good way of. I think if in future everyone run Cartel as a one shot, it will be with a love letter to give some starting stress, some starting heat, and some.
Yeah.
You're midway through some of these situations that we set up.
Exactly, and as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with just dropping, like preloading the names.
Yeah.
And then having us attach something to them.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah.
The amount of time I wasted looking up Star Wars names was not wasted, but like it was time that I could have been playing instead. But I felt like I wanted to do it. So
that's definitely on my to-do list of the keeper and stuff, is to replace everything with Star Warsy stuff. But anyways,
there's not one quick thing for PBTA with characters like with Cartel. The one where I've seen it best for one shots is, since basically they have 6 characters. Whoever isn't chosen at the immediate start of the game, they've just been killed.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And that starts the action, and everybody's right. You're down to stress, and so whoever you don't choose, whether it's the spouse or the
oh man, Elba's been
Yep.
That's a really
perfect.
good. That's a really good thing. We did that with masks, and that was a nice fiction drive.
Yeah,
that is a great idea.
What you mentioned, Jim, was exactly what I did with my Star Wars game yesterday. I played it. I'd run it last month, and it ran 30 minutes long, and that was a 4-hour slot. So what I did was I went back to the character keeper and I preloaded. I left the names and the pictures. I put example pictures in place, but I built all the characters. So all they had to do was put a couple of stats in, and then we dealt with the relationship stuff. And anyone could change it, but it was kind of pre-built, so there wasn't that let's go back and forth. And I pre-generated some names and said it's on this tab over here. You can just grab the names and move them over. That sped things up a little bit. I just barely made it in time. Yeah.
I'm also a big believer that everybody you should get 2 moves. And you don't need more than 2 moves. Whenever I run Hearts of Wulin, I say you get your core move, pick one other move, and that's going to focus us into what you really think is going to be cool and you really want to do. And I feel like that helps too.
Okay.
So it sounds like there could be a really good list of topics for helping people run one shots on the Gauntlet.
Yeah,
that does sound like a great idea.
The good news is we've recorded all of this, so.
Oh yeah,
but someone has to curate it.
Yeah. I'm not volunteering to write anything. You heard what I said about responsibility. In any case, if we've got time, 5 more minutes for roses, I would love that. My roses are to everybody for being patient and for wonderful players. Jim for getting shot and dragging Elba in front of you. That was so much fun, and and Jern for that lie. Oh my god, that was perfect. And your arrogance in dealing with Black Sun took me back, kind of thing.
That was nice.
It was nice, and it made me be like, I think maybe one of the Tuglies is gonna punch you. You know what I mean? And then I was like, no, I'm too I want to leave you, yeah, like I want to leave it more open for you to hang yourself with rather than forced into it, right? Change it. Great. I actually really love the idea of this clone lone warrior assassin who's really the cartel's just a means to an end, really, at the end of the day, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I now I'm like in my head thinking, is there a system that supports this gameplay?
And Jaldar, I think even though you were out of it, you were like the driving force of the crime stuff. You know, like everybody, you were the hinge around which the cartel activity really revolved around. You know, like you were the hookup for Astapone. You were exactly, and when you started with that Twi'lek club, I was like, oh, that's perfect. One of my not used hooks was going to be that Onduyo was actually the rebels suspect. And it was going to have the ISB agent coming, your club being raided. Then I was like, churns off on the outskirts, then I need to bring them in. But yeah, wonderful stuff, guys. And you all really fleshed out, I think, the world beyond, like, I put in a bunch of stuff to give people ideas if they didn't have any, because, you know, maybe it'd be complete strangers rather than Gauntleteers. But, you know, you guys brought all of the stuff that I wouldn't say take for granted, but is like just a standard feature of the Gauntlet, is just how brilliant everyone is at bringing stuff to the table. So yeah, those are all my roses. Thank you very much, guys. I won't promise anything because I'm terrible at following through on commitments, but I do really want to run Hutt Cartel now as a 4-part series. Yeah. So Philip, if you would like to go for roses.
I want to echo most of the things that you said. Also, one of the things that makes a Gauntlet a great place are people that are willing to run games that they've never run before. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I loved the individual characters. I loved, you know, the clone. Jim, I'm gonna hate that. Yeah, I'm gonna hate what you've done in that life for a long time. And I guess Stephen, I want to hang out at the club.
Nice. And then Stephen.
Yeah, so one of my roses is going to be, so it's one of the things I think that's in the Fate book. You know, character creation is play. And I really enjoyed as we sat down and we fleshed out the world and all of these things came into place. It's something that my imagination just took off with. And I really enjoyed that. So, and, you know, like you mentioned, you know, you've got a group of rock stars here. I mean, the people and the things that they brought to the table is something I never would have imagined. And it was so good. Yeah. So those are my roses. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to just echo that because I really enjoyed listening to the you know, what came out of the character creation. It's the usual thing, isn't it? Like you say, it's why you want it to be a 2-parter, so you can really enjoy all of that and then get into it. But yeah, and David.
Yeah, so I've never watched a Narcos thing, and I've never watched The Sopranos, but I feel like I lived that kind of TV show. It was really good, and I really enjoyed all the characters, and in my head I see all these different subplots and stories and things going on. So just really appreciated being part of it and being here. And thank you, Will, for running it. I think we need people to just step forward and share their fun, and we're here to support you.
Thank you. And Jim, thank you for, I'd like to say, by the way, Jim, thank you for stepping in at the last minute in particular.
Thank you.
It would have been a very different game without you.
Yeah, so you also want to be thanking Shannon, my wife, who I turned to and said, a slot in a game I would love to play just opened up. Do you mind if I just go, off for the afternoon? She's like, yeah, no problem. I'll go for a walk, whatever. So yeah, but that was, no, it was cool to see that. So rose to you for following protocol and posting it up and, having it, because by putting it in need players, it pinged as a notification on my phone. I was able to jump in and do it. So that's, like all of that, all those procedures are in place for a reason, and sometimes they work. So that was good. So I thought that was great. Roses for all my fellow players. David, the sense you gave Crate that he was someone who was running out of time was very cool. I kind of got that notion that it's like, it's not like I have decades to find these people and hunt them down or to get the job done. It's like, no. You've got a biological clock that's ticking in a very different sense than we normally use that phrase. But, it was like, I got to get this done or it's gonna, it's gonna end me. Phil, like the idea, like just that your entire relationship was just this fortress of lies. So like so convoluted that you had forgotten which lies you had told her when and stuff like that. That's like very like kind of like soap operatic almost in that way that I like, that some of these genres kind of, sort of blend together a little bit and stuff like that. And Stephen, the thing I loved about Jaldar was that like he's very clearly more lucky than smart, which is like not always an easy thing to play, but like that whole scene where you're like, oh, you're from the other criminals organization. Here, coming back, let me show you where they make the drugs. These are where we make our drugs. Would you like some drugs? And it just like, and that could have just gone, they could have been an Imperial agent, they could have been whatever, but you're just like, nope. I'm very proud of my little outfit here. And luckily it was someone who was, actually had a use for you and not the other way around. But just the way that played out, I kind of picture that just as like, almost you're like, grinning as you're like, our drugs are great drugs. Like that.
I like
just a lot of fun. Yeah.
I really feel like Jaldar had like this sincere, like, I'm a business person, right? And I'm going to risk it and I'm going to live it like to the end. I like that was really great.
Yeah, like someone who's just in so completely over their head that they had no idea. They literally couldn't see the surface of what was over their head, and so they presumed that this was how things normally worked.
You're not Carlito in Carlito's Way. You're Billy Crystal in Carlito's Way. Yeah. Thank you all so much, guys. Is everyone okay with me putting this up?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.